It makes absolutely no sense. So here's the quick recap. So we are legally, the Navy has an injunction that
Mhm.
prevents further religious discrimination. The Air Force, the judge just issued a permanent injunction against the Air Force to
Wow.
prevent religious discrimination. The same week, on Monday, the Coast Guard comes out and says, we're going to use an administrative technicality to kick people out without due process, without administrative separation boards. And believe it or not, the provision in the instruction says for the convenience of the government. So it's convenient
Wow.
for the Coast Guard to kick people out like my clients. These guys, Gabe, you know some of these guys. They are months away from retirement. They are the heroes of the Coast Guard. They're the Coast Guard version of special forces. What they do is incredible. The risk that they take to save people, it's incredible. They're in an undermanned career field. None of that matters. The sacrifices they've made don't matter to the Coast Guard right now, and the Coast Guard is going to use a technicality to kick them out without due process.
Why the Coast Guard? Why? Um, it seems like you just mentioned Navy, Air Force, and all. Why is the Coast Guard acting like this?
I don't know. I don't know where this is coming in the Coast Guard infrastructure. I assume it's coming from political pressure and top down. It's insane. It doesn't make sense. And the problem is, just like all of the other services right now, there's a recruiting crisis, right? There's
Yeah,
so many people not only are incapable of serving, physically incapable of serving, but don't want to serve in the current woke military environment. And the
yeah,
Coast Guard's suffering from that as well. So we're at a place where one of the most critically manned career fields, undermanned career fields, because of what it takes to become a rescue swimmer, the incredible
right.
training it takes to go through. They can't man the career field. So they're at a mission critical point, and yet they're going to push forward with this. I represent several, there's a group of almost 30
Okay.
experienced, trained Coast Guard rescue swimmers ready within 30 minutes to be in 50-foot seas saving lives that the Coast
Wow.
Guard is going to kick out with no due process. None.
How many people do you think in the Coast Guard are? I mean, you're representing 30 of them. How many do you think are in this situation?
There are hundreds. There are hundreds in the Coast Guard, and Coast Guard is tiny compared to the other services. There are 100, but Gabe, there are 264,000 military members total, all the services that are not fully vaccinated. It's over
Wow.
13% of our military force that is not quote unquote fully vaccinated. So still, the Department of Defense is trying to kick them out. So even with these injunctions that we've gotten because of clear violations of the First Amendment, Religious Freedom Restoration Act, they're still moving forward with this.
So you mentioned before that these Coast Guard that you're representing, they're getting their due process rights are being denied. What do you mean their due process rights are being denied?
So normally in the military, including in the Coast Guard, if you have served, if you have lengthy service, in all branches except the Coast Guard, it's more than 6 years. In the Coast Guard, it's 8 years. So if you serve for more than 8 years, before they can just kick you out, you're entitled to due process. You go before an administrative separation board. You get to present your case to a neutral, impartial board of 3 senior members. They look
Wow.
at your case, look at the facts, and render a decision based on that. So it's not quite a court martial, but it's a similar administrative proceeding. And
Uh-huh.
here, the Coast Guard is circumventing that. They're using a technicality to get away from it. And what's crazy is, Gabe, we've won these cases. I personally won these cases in the Navy where we've had a finding that this is an unlawful order. So I don't know if the Coast Guard's afraid of that. They're afraid what's going to come out. They're afraid of their process.
Yeah.
And remember, the Coast Guard, we caught the Coast Guard issuing guidance to their chaplains to set up a series of questions to trap Coast Guard members into saying things that were political rather than religious so that they could try and deny these religious accommodations on the front end. So it was whistleblowers that got that out. So that's what we have to remember about the Coast Guard in this. It's insane. It's tragic. It does not make sense. It absolutely impacts readiness.
Okay. So wait, you just went over something that I think is bigger than what you just gave a sentence to. um, what happened regarding chaplains and some sort of entrapment with its Coast Guard members?
That's right. The Coast Guard, early on in this whole process, when all of these guys were filing for religious accommodations, the first step in the process in the military is you meet with the chaplain. And all the
Mhm.
chaplain is supposed to do is ask questions about your faith, and then content doesn't matter, but is it sincere? Is it sincerely held belief? Is what you're asking for putting a burden on that? The
Okay.
Coast Guard, rather than playing that fair, what the Coast Guard did is they put out official guidance through Coast Guard channels to say, bring up political issues first. Bring up political issues first so that they answer those questions. Then when you write your memo, mention, well, I'm not sure this is sincere because what they did is they mentioned political issues first.
Wow. That's incredible. Now I think the average citizen doesn't think that they're really affected by this. I don't know if the average citizen is really concerned by this fight. Why is this legal fight so important, to the average citizen?
There are a ton of reasons. I think fundamentally, though, it's about the Constitution. Unique to any nation in world history, the United States says military officers like me, we swear an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. That's what we're sworn to do. Not a political leader, not a state, but the Constitution itself. So if our military has their constitutional rights deprived, if our military isn't upholding those, our military leadership isn't upholding basic fundamental constitutional principles, we have a huge problem. But the other issue we're dealing with, and my clients see it, my clients have been concerned about it from the beginning, Navy SEALs and others, we are losing the best of the best. We are losing critical thinkers, the people that are willing to take a stand for the Constitution, that are willing to question unlawful orders, whether it's pilots, Navy SEALs, other special operators, these Coast Guard rescue services, we're losing those people. And that absolutely will have an impact on readiness. It can't but do that.
Wow. So what do you, what's the next steps? What's going to keep the Coast Guard from pulling this, I don't know, administrative loophole that you're talking about? Has everything been exhausted?
Not everything. We will have an opportunity to respond with a letter to each one of my clients who's been being told, hey, doesn't matter that you served for 19 years, you're going to be out on the street in 30 days. We'll be able to respond with a letter. But we also have a narrow window here to get these guys connected with organizations like Liberty Counsel. So Liberty Counsel, LC.org, great organization. They're bringing litigation against this in Florida to try to stop it, just like First Liberty Institute was able to do for the Navy, just like the attorneys in the Ohio case were able to do for the Air Force. So that's happening. We're working at Stand With Warriors to get the right guys connected with the right teams that are bringing the federal litigation. So my focus is going to remain internal to the military to try to push back. The other thing I will say is, we're going into an election season. We need people to call congressional leaders, call senators, look up who's on the Armed Services Committee, make these phone calls, flood them. They will tell you, political operatives will tell you, one phone call to a congressman or a senator, they write it down. They see it as if it's 1,000 constituents called per phone call. So think about the power you have in doing that. So I don't care who your representative is. If enough people are reaching out and doing that and raising this issue, perhaps it will have an impact. In the meantime, we need to keep working every process we can, every legal process within the military to push back on this.
So do you need more Coast Guard members to reach out? Is it like a class action lawsuit? I mean, how's it functioning right now?
Yeah, we need Coast Guard members to reach out to standwithwarriors.org. We will get their information. We will help them. Jeff Durbin, those guys at Apologia Church, that's who started Stand With Warriors. So their team's going to help. We'll try to do everything we can to get people plugged in with Liberty Counsel and other attorneys throughout the country that are in the right places to bring this litigation. And then what we need is numbers. We need to be able to present to news media outlets, to congressional leaders. Here's the number of people that are impacted by this. Because believe it or not, it's been very difficult to get accurate numbers out of DOD or Coast Guard of the number of people that are refusing this. So when we come up with these numbers, we need our own accurate checks. So Stand With Warriors has been a great rally point for people to go to, provide information, and for us to push it out.
Davis Younts, standwithwarriors.org. Reach out. Thank you, Davis, for coming on the show again.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.